They are the richest athletes in the world and are adored by millions of fans worldwide. Their prize money is gigantic, and a few athletes can even call themselves billionaires. But how do superstars like Floyd Mayweather, Roger Federer, or Usain Bolt actually live in private? What are they doing in their free time, and how do they spend their fortunes? We will answer these questions and show you today the richest athletes of the world in private. We will show you the absolute megastars off the competition field and present you extraordinary car collections and gigantic mega mansions. But we also tell you which sportsman has remained on the ground here at Wonderlane. Number 4. Let's start our list with Floyd Mayweather, one of the richest athletes of all time. According to Forbes, the boxer is said to have earned a whopping $800 million over the course of his career, and with one fight alone against Conor McGregor, he made $300 million in revenue. But Mayweather is not known for living extremely frugally. Instead, he flaunts his wealth on social media and regularly has his picture taken with tons of cash, exotic animals, and controversial powerhouses. His jewelry alone is worth a fortune, and he is said to own over 40 valuable luxury watches. Among them is a Jacob & Co.'s billionaire watch, which costs $18 million and is considered the most expensive watch in the world. In addition, the 44-year-old owns several properties, such as the $25 million mansion in Beverly Hills, with a gigantic wine collection and his own candy store, and a $10 million mansion in Las Vegas. He also travels regularly to the most exotic places in the world, and even owns his own fleet of airplanes for his trips. The Air Mayweather has 3 private jets. As recently as 2018, Money Mayweather gave himself a Gulfstream G650 worth $60 million. But his car fleet is also extremely luxurious and, above all, very huge. The father of 4 is said to own over 100 cars, with a total value of almost $30 million. Among them are 10 Rolls-Royce, 10 Bentleys, and 3 Bugatti Veyrons. However, it is not only the high-priced models themselves that are particularly striking, but also the colors of the vehicles. While in his villa in Beverly Hills, there are exclusively white cars. In the garage of his villa in Las Vegas, there are almost only black sports cars. Mayweather, who himself grew up in poor conditions, was never able to completely put his problematic past behind him and was sentenced several times to various penalties for assault and domestic violence. He even served 90 days in prison, and conflicts are also said to have arisen regularly with his ex-wife, Josie Harris, who died suddenly last year. His eccentric lifestyle is also said to be costing him dearly in the meantime. According to media reports, the boxer is broke. Mayweather denies this, but the fact is that he celebrated his comeback last year. On February 28th, Floyd Mayweather was back in the ring in Tokyo for the first time in 4 years. Then, by the way, probably as a grandpa, because his daughter, Ayanna, is expecting her first child. Number 3. In contrast to Mayweather, the next sportsman on our list leads a more down-to-earth life, and is even richer than the eccentric boxer. We are talking about Roger Federer. The Swiss tennis pro and 8-time Wimbledon winner is said to have earned $106.3 million last year alone, making him the highest paid athlete in the world. Yet, he earns most of his money not from tennis at all, but from lucrative advertising deals. The 40-year-old is a brand ambassador for expensive luxury watches, sporting goods, fashion brands, and car manufacturers, and is said to have collected over $900 million in advertising money in recent years. In addition, he is said to have earned around $130 million in the tennis court. Despite his wealth, the billionaire Federer is down-to-earth and approachable. He's been together with his wife, former tennis player Mirka Monika Vavrinec for 20 years, and the couple has had twins twice. Federer is also known for his charity work. He founded the Roger Federer Foundation in 2003 and involves people like Bill Gates and Rafael Nadal in his work. So far, he has been able to raise over $40 million for a good cause and implement several large schools and education projects in Africa. In general, the athlete, whose mother herself comes from South Africa, is very concerned about the work there. He tries as often as possible to visit the children who benefit from his charity. Of course, all this is not to say that Federer, who enjoys hiking in his private life, does not indulge in luxury. On the contrary, this year, construction work began on his luxury villa directly on Lake Zurich. The tennis ace is said to be investing over $77 million in it, and over 60 employees are said to be responsible for planning the luxury property alone. At the same time, the 40-year-old already owns a luxurious villa on Lake Zurich, which was completed in 2014. The glass house has floor-to-ceiling windows, large balconies with spectacular views of the lake, and a glass dome over the living area. But his cars also provide a glimpse into the tennis star's luxurious life. Roger Federer is a brand ambassador for Mercedes and is said to own several sports cars from the Stuttgart-based automaker. Among them are a Mercedes SLS AMG, a Mercedes E-Class Cabriolet, and a Mercedes-Benz SL. For a billionaire, however, this is an almost modest fleet of vehicles. Number 2. Let's continue with Usain Bolt. He is one of the greatest Olympic legends and is considered the most successful sprinter of all time. Although he's only 35 years old, he retired back in 2017. Since then, Bolt, whose fortune is estimated at $90 million, has focused only on the things he really enjoys. One of his great hobbies is soccer, and so, after his leading athletics career, he seriously toyed with the idea of becoming a professional soccer player. He even trained with the stars of the German football club Borussia Dortmund and had offers from the Australian League, which he did not accept. In 2019, Bolt realized that he was not quite enough for professional soccer and thus wanted to withdraw from the sports world completely. Instead, the family happiness of the 8-time medal winner is currently in the first place. With his long-term girlfriend, Kazi Bennett, he has a little daughter since this year, who is named Olympia Lightning Bolt. Since then, the dissolute party life for which the athletic star was known has also been over. Incidentally, it was not unusual for him to stand behind the mixing desk as a DJ himself back then, and the music still inspires him today. Nevertheless, Bolt, who still lives in Jamaica and has built a luxurious villa in his parents' neighborhood, now uses his fortune for more serious projects. He is considered generous in his homeland and regularly donates money to charity. The athlete has also already donated a whopping $1.5 million to his old school. Although the 35-year-old is retired, he is still one of the best paid athletes in the world. He earns around $20 million a year from advertising contracts with brands like Gatorade, Nissan, Visa, and Puma. He is also the co-founder of an electric vehicle company called Bolt Mobility. The company operates scooters in several US cities and in Paris. In May 2019, Bolt also launched a 2-seater electric car called B Nano, which will be available for as little as $999. However, the exceptional athlete himself is not satisfied with such cars, because Usain Bolt owns a very impressive car collection. Among them are several Ferraris, such as an F430, a 458, and a California. He also owns a BMW M3, an Audi SUV, and 2 Nissan GTRs. Number 1. Luxury is also part and parcel of Cristiano Ronaldo's life. The 36-year-old professional soccer player is one of the most famous athletes of all time and is estimated to have a fortune of $500 million. Some media even talk about $850 million, which makes him almost a billionaire. It's no wonder that with so much money, he can afford every luxury. And that starts with his old estate in Turin. There, the soccer player has not only bought a villa, but two, which are connected by a bridge and are located in the most expensive residential area of Turin. However, CR7 has cleverly divided the two buildings, because while he lived with his girlfriend, Georgina Rodriguez, and their 4 children in the upper part of the property, his employees, such as the private chef, his nutritionist, and his fitness trainer, lived in the lower part of the villa. In fact, Cristiano Ronaldo keeps fit off the soccer field and trains hard every day. Often, even his son, Cristiano Ronaldo Jr. is there, who also wants to become a professional soccer player. The 36-year-old Portuguese generally tries to spend as much time as possible with his family, and often travels with them to Madeira, where he grew up and where a part of his family is still living. Here, Ronaldo also owns a luxurious villa, where his mother, Maria Dolores, is also said to live. The fact that Ronaldo, who himself grew up in the simplest of circumstances, enjoys his wealth is also evident from his extraordinary car collection. The 36-year-old owns several Porsches, Ferraris, and Bentleys. But the absolute highlight of his collection is the Bugatti La Voiture Noire, the most expensive car in the world. It reportedly cost 15 million euros and can reach speeds of up to 420 kilometers per hour. But Ronaldo is also into luxury in the water, and he regularly charters himself the world's classiest yachts. For example, he spent his summer vacation on the 47-meter motor yacht Africa One, which cost him $250,000 per week. That's it with our video. Feel free to write us in the comments which lifestyle impressed you the most, and with which athlete you would like to swap for a day. Otherwise, like this video if you enjoyed it, and we'll see you next time, here at Wonderlane.